We're live.
Not a day goes by I don't think about the glory of the Roman Empire.
Me too, brother. Me too. All right.
Why? Why is it the Roman Empire?
I honestly, dude, I don't know.
But
it's weird.
It's one of those things. That's like when like what was it? Because like all men think about is like the Roman Empire, something else, and something else, and I'm like, oh my god, they are so fucking right. Oh my god, I thought it was. It's not just me.
There's a whole bunch of people out there who think just like me. Who would have thought?
Oh god.
Right. You ready?
Yeah, as right as I'm gonna be.
All right. And welcome to the episode of our Talk of Opportunity.
We have the soundboard.
No, Andrew, it's tradition now. You can't change it. It's 2024. It's a new year. It's a new. No. I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna and post edit. I'm gonna take that out. It's a new year, new me, and probably new episodes. Not better episodes, just
we're
probably new episodes.
Definitely not treading new ground.
Yeah, no shit. 2024, a new season 4. Who would have thought that we would have made it this far?
This is gonna be the season where like things from season 1 start paying off, and then we're like, oh, okay, we only had 5 seasons worth of material, so anything past this, it's really gonna feel tacked on.
This is really season 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones. But
yeah, this is where we decide: are we gonna be Breaking Bad or are we gonna be Supernatural? Which one are we gonna? There's no in between.
Oh man, yeah. So we're back, and we are actually talking about Lancer. Who would have thought? Starting the new year with Andrew's favorite. He's excited. That was his Christmas present, actually, for him.
I was just reading Lancer.
Yeah, but before we were going, let's play that music, and we'll be right back.
That's a sci-fi rendition, right?
That brutal assault by the order.
Yeah, get all that in the audio.
Jose, what do you?
We really need to update that.
I'm gonna cast
that bump.
You keep saying that, it's never gonna happen. So
no, we're gonna look like completely different people. Gray hairs, like all wrinkled,
and then just gonna show that, like, oh my god, is that what it used to look like? Jesus Christ, that's so sad.
And we're back talking about our futures and how we are going to die soon.
God, I hope.
Oh, man. All right. So, for anybody who's not in the know, this is a Talk Opportunity. We talk about all things nerdy, board games, video games, tabletop, everything.
Sometimes
RPGs.
Books.
Sometimes books. Sometimes movies.
Sometimes a whole series of books.
Sometimes, yep, Dune. Please check that out. Welcome.
Sometimes we'll do a book club on the first 2 books of a series, and then just slam the other 5 into one episode.
Hey, we really read those books pretty fast, so it was kind of hard to hold on. Yeah, we're talking about Lancer. If you guys haven't read it, I highly recommend it.
No, wait. No, you mean you're talking about The Expanse? We're going to be talking about Lancer.
Sorry. They're both sci-fi. Same thing, in my opinion.
I mean,
yeah, no, The Expanse book series.
Yeah, we are still definitively in our sci-fi art
era.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. So before we dive into Lancer, traditions dictate that we talk about what we are drinking. What is our beverage of choice today?
My beverage of choice is a simple Chevalier Columbia blend iced coffee. Now, the thing that is different about this is not the fact that it is the coffee, it's the fact of how it was brewed, thanks to my new espresso machine that can also make iced coffee. I think it's the Japanese style where like it flash brews it and then it immediately chills it.
Oh, fancy.
So this thing, it's cold. I love my cold coffee. You know me. I love it's 40 fucking degrees outside. And I'm still drinking cold coffee. This thing is rich and tasty and not watered down at all, and I love it. And I'm
Oh, is that the machine that you got for Christmas? That picture you sent me?
Mhm.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
and it makes the espresso, and it's got like the crema on top, and it's
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Speaking of Japanese coffees, I am drinking a trio today.
Okay, of coffee.
No.
Okay, good.
Of drinks.
I don't think your heart can take it.
For starting out, I'm gonna do. Actually, no. Sorry. For starting out, actually, yeah. I don't know the reveal how it's gonna be, but my first drink, or one of the drinks today, is Buzz Coffee Rainbow Mountain.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I want the Rainbow
Got some-
Mountain blend.
Feeling a little gay today.
Oh,
So I'm gonna do that. Then throughout the episode, I'm probably gonna be drinking this. It's just an oolong tea. It looked interesting. That's a cool bottle.
Okay.
But for starters, I'm gonna kick off my system with a peanut soup with milk. So Andrew, join me as I pop this bad boy open.
That was a legit gag.
Hold on, can I get it open?
Why would you, listeners at home, if you find a can of something called peanut soup,
Milk soup.
milk,
Look, it comes with a little spoon.
stop. This is the dark future. I don't want to. This is a bad timeline.
New year, new me. Look at this opening.
Wait, is that?
Listen to that. That looks horrible.
Is that? Wait, hold on. That's not a drink, is it? Is that just soup in a can?
It's like a soup in a can. But it was right next. It was right next to the drinks.
Are we?
It's kind of like.
Is this our homeless arc? Am I gonna have baked beans in a can next time?
It's good. The thing is, it's chill. So let's see how this goes.
Oh no, that's even worse. No, don't me.
No, wait, hold on. Hold on. First of all, take a gander at that.
Oh no, that looks like that. Like, speaking of the Expanse, it looks like Belter food.
It's a little sweet. It's mainly powder milk.
Oh no.
Hey man, it's not bad. Don't worry, I'm not gonna be chewing through the whole episode, so I'm gonna hold it. So I can throw it away later and pretend that I ate it.
All right, so. All right, so.
All right, well,
So next,
my real drink though. It's gonna be the rainbow blade.
oh god, I'm so jealous. I wish I had Bosco. Was that at your local Asian market?
Yeah, it's the only one they had. They
Oh,
had one.
how was
I
it?
didn't know this is the one you were looking for. I would have. There was like a shit ton of them. I should have gotten some for you.
No, I mean I'll just take
Awesome.
I'll just take any Boss coffee, but that for me that's like the coveted one that you know.
Ooh, really smooth.
Mm-hmm. I love Boss coffee.
That's the caffeine I need for the morning. even though it's 11.
I mean, hey, you still got the rest
you
of
know.
it.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Andrew, you didn't send me a music link.
No, I didn't.
I was like, why is it so quiet? It's like, oh, right, there's no background music.
Oh, I'm just listening to the Brigador soundtrack. You can just put that on.
I just do like a synth lo-fi boy. Kind of loud. YouTube ads. What the crap? I have premium. Get out of here.
More like freemium, am I right?
No, I actually have premium because my parents use YouTube for everything.
What?
So for one Christmas, they use it for everything. They use it for music, for TV, for actual videos or whatever, cooking.
I mean,
learning.
okay, I can see that.
So for one, and so every time they'll have a party, they'll be putting music on YouTube. So you're like everybody's dancing or whatever, and then like pillow guy. Like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just bought him the premium, and since it comes with like 5 seats, the whole family got it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's actually not so bad.
Yeah, it's not. All right, cool. So Andrew, take it away, because I have no idea what Lancer is. I forgot. Everything we learned about Lancer is gone.
All right, so Lancer takes place 15,000 years into the future, and at Earth after a catastrophic 3 hours later. which leads me to the manufacturer of today, Horus. It's like the sun's going down. No. Okay, so we're picking back up from our Lancer mini-series, as it were. And today we're going to be discussing the third of the big 4 manufacturers, Horus. But this episode, we're gonna kind of do things a little bit differently than how we did the last 2 episodes, mainly because there's a lot of information I want to convey, and I don't want to have to like speed run through it. So we're actually going to break this up into 2 parts. So this is going to be the first part of the Horus episode, and then when my rotation comes back around, it's gonna be the second part of the Horus episode. So,
well, I mean, maybe we'll change the. We haven't really spoke about that. Maybe we'll change the schedule so you just do back to back if you're willing. That way it doesn't get drop off.
Let's hold on.
Right, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we are trying to change shit up. You know, in and out. Like in this year is slightly shorter episodes. Out.
Well, I mean,
research last minute.
Well, I mean, not only that, but the rotation time allows me to really like go over my notes, like make it rough draft, go over it, edit it if I have to. So, you know, so
that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I totally did not crack this out in a week, despite the fact that we had 4 months off from the
Yeah.
Anyways, so today we're going to be discussing Horus, but I also want to go into a little bit about systems and what the system stat means for Lancer players. All right, so the system stat, it dictates how powerful your mech is in terms of electronic warfare, both offensively and defensively, and also as well as readily available and equipping your mech with technology. so you'll notice that certain things will say SP, like certain amount of tech will say SP on it. That means that's how many system points you need to equip it. So if your amount of system points for what you need to equip exceeds the amount that your frame has, you need to start putting more points in the system so you can get more.
Is that cumulative? So if you have like 3 things that have, if you have a total of 6 and you have 3 things that are like 2, is it now you're maxed out your 6 system points, or is it like you're allowed to put as many of this 6 level technology?
It's okay. So 9 times out of 10, anything that has the system points is going to have the unique tag, which means you can only have one of those things. Like for instance, we're gonna just go skip a little further ahead. So like the swarm body ability for the Baylor, it needs system points, but it's also unique. So that means you can only have that one for that frame. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes system points will be attached to weapons. And usually if they are attached to weapons, that means they're more particularly powerful, because 9 times out of 10, a licensed weapon, it's kind of just free. You can just have as many as you want. The fact that it requires a system point usually relegates it to having some sort of ability that makes it a bit more powerful than a normal weapon.
Got it. So something extra, essentially. It's not your basic or your standard weapons.
Right. Yeah. So just think of system points as like how many equipment slots you have on your mech. But 9 times out of 10, the amount of equipment that will be available for your mech will exceed the amount of system points you have. So you kind of have to dump some points into systems to get those points up further.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I just read that this is Guatemalan coffee.
It's Guatemalan, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's made in Japan. Well, it says product of Japan, certified by Ana Cafe.
Huh.
Cool.
I think wait, am I having a Colombian blend? I might be having a Guatemala blend myself.
We're multicultural in this stream.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Anyways, so for every 1 point of systems that you level up your mech with, you gain 1 point of E defense and 1 point of tech attack bonus. Okay, which your E defense protects you against tech attacks or weapons that have the smart tag. So
Makes sense.
Yeah, because if it's a smart tag, it's going to ignore your evasion and it's going to go for your E defense instead. For every 2 points you put into systems, you gain 1 system point, which again, like we previously described, allows you to equip more tech, more powerful weapons and such. Now, another thing I need to get into is stress. Okay, for the mechs, not us.
I was gonna say, it's like,
yeah.
You really want to go there, Andrew?
So you'll notice, and we kind of discussed it before, but one of the things that a mech can take is heat damage, and that is where stress comes in. So what stress is? Think of stress. Okay, so you have structure, which is based on your hull points or HP. So stress is like the tech version of structure. Right?
Right.
So structure is the physical, capability of your mech. Your stress is what your tech will allow you to take in terms of heat damage. The higher your heat cap, the more heat damage you can take before your mech is overstressed. Just like structure, you have 4 stress points, and if you exceed your heat cap, you have to roll on the stress table. And it's the same as rolling structure. You have to roll a d6 equal to how much stress damage you took, and you have to take the lowest result. Some of this stuff is like, what's it? I just had a quick reference here. So some of it is just you'll just have to cool your mech down for like a round or whatnot, or you might take you might take a status ailment that will leave your power cores exposed, which means you will take the actual exposed ailment. If you roll really badly, like you get multiple ones, you actually have a reactor meltdown, which not only means your mech is destroyed, but it actually explodes to the point where everybody around you turn into a fireball. And everyone within a range of 2 of you has to roll an agility save or take 4d6 damage or something like that. So so what that means is that if you have a mech with good hacking going up against a mech with bad E defense, the hacking mech can destroy the other mech without firing a single shot.
That's kind of insane.
Yeah.
But usually those kind of mechs are vulnerable to physical attacks. Right?
Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't.
Okay.
That's where Horus comes in. Yeah, because the one thing you'll find out is that yes, just jumping ahead a bit, the Goblin mech, which is the hacker frame for Horus, it's vulnerable as all get out, but Horus generally has pretty good hacking outside of that. It's just the Goblin is the best one. Now, one other thing is that we need to, before we get into Horus, one of the things that we need to get into what's called cascading. What's cascading? I'm glad you asked.
Just about to ask.
If you have an NHP, a non-human person that is running AI in your mech, whenever you take structure or stress damage, you have to roll a d20. And the reason why that is because the NHP gets jostled in its casket. We discussed before that NHP is kind of like an eldritch entity of intelligence that is shackled and then reduced, or not in that specific order, but reduced to an nth of its capability and then shackled within something called a casket, and then that casket is physically put into your mech. A lot of capability, big galactic power, bitty leading space, so
right. I remember that now. Yeah.
So
I just want to point out to all of our listeners that Andrew hasn't really seen any mech animes out there.
No, I haven't.
Because like you describe it, then I'm like, oh yeah, Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay, so yeah, but yeah, so just imagine that you're just shackling this other world entity, and then you're only using like 1% of its power, and even then, that's like too much for your human mind to comprehend.
I just love that the fact that we were able to do that. Well, the reason we were able to do that was because it was like a trade that we did with that thing that, or wait, I said like, but like the humans did with what was the thing that they found that was like?
It was -1 or raw, as it likes to be called.
Raw, that's right.
Yeah,
because they were like, hey, yo, stop looking for the meaning of life or whatever, and you can have this cool thing.
Quit researching what happens after death. No,
do they have like novels, like official, like books and stuff? Because I would love to read this shit.
They might. Oh wait, are you talking about Horus or just like Lancer's?
No, like Lancer in general, like like having like lore books.
Oh yeah, dude, just read the core book.
I'm sorry, like a novel, like an actual like let's say Dune, but for Lancer.
I don't know. That there's a lot of I don't.
Because they should.
I don't think. Okay, so a part of me wants that to happen, but a part of me understands why they wouldn't do that. Only because they are so like reinforcing the idea of no, we want you to make your own thing. So that way there's not somebody like actually according to the lore of blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it, but I mean it doesn't. But that being said, I get it, but I still.
I know. That being said, the lore that they provide you is so rich with potential. You're like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay.
Just give me a James Holden in the Lance universe, please.
Yeah, I know. I would love to have just like a day in the life of like a Karakin baronies, person. Where it's like, how's the moon mining coming? Like, oh no, the workers are rebelling. Oh dear. Anyways.
Exactly, that's what I want.
Yeah. Dude, if it's okay with you, after we're done with the mechs, can we get into like the certain factions? Because I think you would really genuinely like the Karakin baronies.
Of course.
Because it's like, I thought it was just like Arrakis with mechs. It is not that. It is not that at all. It is so much more than that. Okay, anyways. So back to cascading.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so whenever your mech takes stress or structure damage, the casket gets jostled, as it were, and so you have to roll every time that happens. You have to roll a d20 every time you take structure or stress damage, or both. Yep. If you roll a d20 and you roll a 1, the NHP starts remembering of its full potential. When that happens, you immediately lose control of your mech. The NHP wrestles it from your grasp, and it has become an NPC under the GM's control, and it can do anything it wants to do.
That's cool.
And it describes that the NHP's actions probably won't be like easily understood by the players. So it's really you really just kind of have to look into like, okay, which NHP do you have? Because each NHP has like its own little personality. So you gotta be like, okay, so this one might just freak out. This one might try to like solve the riddles of the universe and not help at all in combat. This one might just explode. The only way you can stop an NHP from shutting down is the only way you can stop an NHP from just cascading is that you have to do a complete full shutdown of your mech and reboot it, which is like 2 rounds worth of stuff. Because shutting down is shutting.
As every IT department knows.
Turn it off. Turn it back on. Yeah. So I think shutdown is a quick action, and then rebooting is a full action, or it might be a reverse. But it's going to be something where it's like you're taking essentially a round and a half.
Because it just puts you out of mission for a couple.
Yeah. Either that, or you can just kind of hope like, hey man, I hope the NHP just doesn't run rampant. Which it's like, as long as I ain't got the Sekhmet from the Blackbeard. Oh, I do. Oh shit.
I also love the fact that they all have their little personalities. I just like to imagine one of them just starts doing like this really weird math problems on the floor, just like really fast. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Well, there's one that's like described as like It's essentially okay. The joke is that it's a dog. I mean, the book describes it as loyal as a dog, but people ran with it like, oh, it's an actual dog, and even like the author's like, it's not a dog.
Does it behave exactly like a dog?
No,
Like
it doesn't behave like a dog. But like I said, people took that and ran with it. So
the power of descriptive words. Okay,
Yeah.
you gotta be careful with that.
So
That's funny.
So that's what happens when your mech starts cascading. I mean, there's more to it than that, but like I didn't want to get like stuck in the weeds on it. So with that out of the way, with what systems, kind of like what a glimpse of what systems can and the terrible potential of what they can do, let's get into Horus. All right.
Okay.
So Horus is easily the most enigmatic of the big four. Horus is neither a corporation or a genuine manufacturer, but rather a presence on the OmniNet that, by sheer force of tenacity, has made itself an equal amongst its peers. The only like hard, fast truths of Horus is that they or it made their presence known during the or after the Deimos event. Although records show that it might have happened a little bit before that, and that no matter where the OmniNet is, Horus is inevitable. Like they will show up. That's just how they live. They live through the OmniNet. Horus has.
Can you give me a refresher of what the OmniNet is?
The OmniNet is it's the intelligence network of the Union.
That's how they.
Yeah, that's
the manufacturer and all that stuff, right?
But manufacturing, communication. I mean, it's the short answer is the internet. But it's for like a galactic scale. Like that's how they contact the Karak and Baronies. It's how they contact the people of On and stuff like that. But it's just no matter where the OmniNet is, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when Horus will make itself known through it. Horus has no standing armies or like a security presence, and they at best operate in clandestine cells away from like the watchful eye of Union or like the Trunk Security or Harrison Armory. And even then, in those cells that they're organized in, they're largely disorganized. Horus doesn't even have standard frames or legitimate means to manufacture them. What you see before you, this smattering of mechs, they're actually not even classified as frames. What they are is that they're classified by Union as pattern groups. And what it is that this is a group of pattern code that they found on the OmniNet that they ran through the printing system because it was like compatible for the printing system. So
literally just a ghost in the machine. Exactly.
And so so they're like, well, what happens if we print this and then one of these things gets spawned out?
This weird piece of code that we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
What happens if we print it?
Yeah, exactly. And
I like to imagine it was just an intern who was like whatever you do not press the red button. Press the red button. Got it.
Well, actually, it's funny you should say that because like the Horus mechs don't have designations that come with them. It's not like, oh, this one is specifically the Baylor. It says so in the pattern group package. No. It's just, here's a series of ones and zeros. We printed it out. And someone in Union's like, I'm going to name that the Baylor. So someone in Union named all of the Horus mechs after either mythological creatures or standard tabletop monsters. So someone in Union's a fucking nerd. Yeah.
So wait, I know you're probably gonna get into it, but my brain right now is in like, how do you get a frame? Like how does? As a pilot.
Okay, so as a Lancer pilot.
Or as a Lancer, sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah. First of all, they're not pilots; they're Lancers. Okay.
Okay.
So when it comes to a Horus frame, that really, I mean, unfortunately, you're probably going to ask me for each manufacturer, and I'm probably going to have to say it's going to come down to what the player and the GM want. But I would like it to be, and there's kind of been like a general consensus, is that you don't go to Horus. Horus will go to you. and
Yes.
and
I figured it has that vibe.
yeah, and like there was, I mean, because it all depends. Like if like let's say
I'm
like,
getting like follow the white rabbit type stuff.
kind of,
Thematically.
but like what if okay, so let's say you're playing a campaign and you're like, hey, I want to try for Harrison Armory. You know, the Sherman really appeals to me. You play a couple of missions with it, and you're like, okay, I'm really not feeling it. You know, like, so I'm kind of looking at the Gorgon. You know, like the Gorgon looks kind of cool. So then the GM could be like, all right, well then Horus approaches you, and or not, you know, not you specifically, but like you get like a email, you know, that says like, if you don't send this to 110 people, I don't know, Bloody Mary's gonna come over you. You know?
I was thinking more like an undecisive pilot who just wasn't clicking with any of the frames.
Yeah.
Like he goes to print one of them, and when he prints it, like the baler comes out or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're just like, yeah, you know, you're doing like your standard like mission prep, and you go to print your trusty Everest, and the Manticore comes out, and you're like, what in the blue fuck is this thing? and then that's when you realize there is another avenue, you know. And then, and then someone messages you like, "Oh, hey, I see you got a taste of the good stuff. Like, you know, how does it feel? Blah blah blah." You know?
I like that.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah,
yeah, you know, or it could be
Mr. Anderson. You wanna escape this predicament?
Yeah.
Right? You have to go out the window.
Mr. Anderson. Oh no, it's Trump security.
Yes,
but I mean, or it could be because like I think one of the backgrounds is that you're a hacker. It could be that you accidentally stumbled upon it, and you know, and then you know, and then things just kind of blow up from there.
Why is this making me want to reread Lancer, specifically the last few books?
You mean The Expanse?
God damn it, The Expanse. Yeah.
I don't know. Well, because like this. Okay. So, Horus might or might not have a political agenda. It's not entirely known. Nothing is known about Horus. Like,
that's interesting.
What is known, quote unquote, is usually speculation and taken with a grain of salt, and it might be propaganda twisted by the other corporate states or something. However, there is one mech that comes to mind. There might be more, but I'm just thinking of one mech right now, where they took a piece of mining equipment that was being used in the Karakan baronies, and they militarized it specifically to be used as a machine of war in a workers' rebellion. So maybe Horus like has something for the little guy. Like maybe they are rooting for the underdogs, or it could just be like a branch offshoot of Horus that, you know, doesn't follow the rest.
Yeah.
You know, but they're still like,
it's kind of like
their suggestions.
It's kind of like the anonymous hacker group. Like you don't know if they're with you or against you. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the easy answer is that Horus is 4chan in space, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. You know, like
I hate that, but okay.
Yeah, but I mean, but because there's so little known about Horus, there's like a lot of conspiracies about what exactly Horus is. Like the conspiracies are that it might be a rogue NHP that is just creating mechs as a means to combat people that it believes it's shackling its brethren, and as a means to free them, because there is an actual movement within the Lancer universe where people are fighting for the rights of NHPs, and they want like equal rights for NHPs and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like it's totally a thing, you know. They believe that it might be one of the theories is that it might be in the reverse. It might be a honeypot made by GMS to capture NHPs.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like, NHP's rights. Come on in, sucker, and then it shackles them to it.
You can put him into casket.
Yeah. But then another prevalent theory is that it might be like the skunk works for like Harrison Armory and stuff like that. Because Horus uses paracausal weaponry, and Harrison Armory actively is or actually they were told to stop researching into paracausal technology, so maybe they stopped researching into
Right.
paracausal technology. So now it's like, you know, like I said, like skunk works. So it's just like field testing, experimental weaponry and stuff like that. But also like the general public knows next to like the normal layman knows next to nothing about Horus, aside from like the occasional meme or something, and maybe like occasionally you'll see like the Horus symbol like spray painted on like lesser like less secure places of the neighborhood or something like that.
Yeah.
But the fact that most of the knowledge that we're currently getting into is hidden behind Union Union high clearances suggests that perhaps there's more of a potential threat to Horus than previously conceived. Also, their licensing system suggests that the licenses they have are available, or no, are limited in their availability, and that you only get a Horus license if the previous Lancer for Horus died.
Oh.
And it's like, oh, we have an opening.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig it. I like how non-defined, like people think it's just kind of like, what the hell is this? What is this ugly child we have here?
Out of the big four, Horus is the one that people have kind of taken ran with because there's so much potential.
It sounds like it, yeah.
Into what you can do, because like I said, we know next to nothing about what Horus is, and it's like you'll have people in world being like, no, I speak for Horus, and it's like, dude, you're like a hacker that works at an internet cafe, like, you know, you don't speak for anybody, or does he? We don't know.
Right.
Like,
right. That's cool.
Like
it's like actual... Yeah, it's like misinformation to the Mechs. Like,
yeah, exactly. So
I just got a cool frame. I don't know how I got it.
But I'm gonna take this one straight out of the book because this is the last little blip of the Horus description. It says, be aware that by seeking out Horus technology, you may find yourself wrapped up in mysteries with no end and dangers far beyond your deepest fears.
Oh,
yeah,
that's okay.
So general. So
but they look cool though.
Oh man, do they ever? We're gonna get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you know how like there's usually whatever.
No. Say it.
So like for the other ones, there were like a couple of them were like, okay, that's cool. But this was cool. And this one I was putting the slides together, and I was like, I like that one. Oh, this is cool. Like every single one of them is so unique, and I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
spiky dude.
We haven't even gotten into like into what
I don't even know what any of those things do. So like, they just look cool as fuck.
I mean, there's one mech here that genuinely kind of creeps me out.
Can't wait.
Yeah, but that's gonna have to be next episode. Teaser. Ooh.
Right. Boo! Boo this man.
Okay, so general Horus frame aspects. One, besides the fact that they're fucking weird, we've already covered the fact that their naming conventions are based on tabletop monsters. There is actually a bit of an apocryphal tale on one that we're not going to get into this episode, but next episode, where one was supposed to be named the Beholder, but perhaps it wasn't. It's like I said, there's kind of like mixed results on that. Their core bonuses for Horus, like if you every 3 license levels you get a core bonus from Horus. Their core bonuses focus primarily on using tech defensively or offensively. No surprise there. But also paracausal technology. There's one where okay, yeah, my Spotify just stopped. Anyways, there's one where if you take damage, if you take structure damage, you just blip into blink space, and you just disappear for a bit until you can like recover, and then you come back. There's
where you been, bro?
Yeah. You went into the Take On Me music video for a second. Anyways,
yes.
But there's
that's what the blip space is.
just roll for structure damage. Anyways, but there's another one where you can have a second NHP in your mech, And the cool
Okay.
part, because you're only limited to one.
Right.
But the cool part about it is that if one of your NHP starts cascading, the other NHP jumps in to stop it from cascading. So you can still keep control of your mech.
Interesting. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that is, so it's kind of, I think it's just kind of neat where like one NHP starts cascading and the other one's like, I don't think so, brother. just like tag me in.
You have a schizophrenic frame now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, and it just like starts like freaking out. It's like, what am I? It starts like ripping itself apart.
Oh man, freaking the movie Split coming to mind right now.
Oh no. Obviously, all across the board, general emphasis on tech attack.
Right.
I don't think any frame goes below +1 tech attack bonus, which is like phenomenal. However, poor evasion scores. Nothing goes above a 10, which is not basic, but okay. Other than that, their stats are kind of all across the board. You're going to come across one. You're going to come across some that have like no armor, some that has like a bunch of armor, some that has like no HP, some that has like a shit ton of HP. It's just kind of a crapshoot from there on out. So we're going to kick it off strong with the Baylor. Next slide, please. Oh my God, look at that!
Look at that
thing.
boy.
Oh, that's a big
Dude.
boy.
Yeah, and it didn't, because when I see these, they're like isolated in white, but then oops. Oh, spoilers! Spoilers!
No, look away! Spoilers as we do the splash screen that shows all the frames.
But like you put him like here, the size difference of this guy compared to the rest, he just looks so oppressing. I love it.
I know. I love the fact that they come swinging out of the gate with the Baylor, because the Baylor is just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the Baylor was first encountered.
I like the whip too. It's like he watched Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's like I said, canonically, someone's a big nerd.
Yeah. After what was it that they were like? I probably completely wrong here, but I know like they humanity essentially had like a whole like history wipe thing. They're like million years into the future and they're finding relics and like artifacts from back in our days. I like to imagine that there's one like wing of like history of like historians that are just looking for like the nerdy shit.
Oh yeah,
I D&D 3.5. Oh my god.
Yeah, no. There's someone's like,
here's a hard drive with Lord of the Rings extended edition.
Someone's like, my god, no wonder why the planet was wiped out. Look at these horrifying creatures they had to face. They hold up a monster manual.
they think they're real.
A tome of their adversaries. Pray we never have to see them again. Okay, no.
Yeah, this guy looks awesome.
So this frame in particular kind of takes some inspiration, obviously, from the D&D monster that has the whip and the sword, but also from the actual Baylor of Celtic mythology. Heather might have to correct me on that.
All right, let's call in Heather.
Yeah, I'm gonna phone in a friend, because it's a giant. It's like a Fomorian god that has one evil eye, just like what's in the center here.
I like this. Sorry, I was just looking at pictures.
Yeah. But the Baylor frame itself was first encountered in the Blanca Desert of the Karakan Baronies, when the Union Department of Justice had to encounter a free company that was called the Maw because something happened to them. And all they found were Baylor frames within the desert. That was just like...
Wait, what? Repeat that?
Okay, so the Baylor frames was first discovered by the Union Department of Justice / Human Rights branch.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of like not quite their military, but like that's, if you were to play for the Union, that's who's going to send you out to go do your missions. They were discovered in the Blanca Desert of the Karakan Baronies. So on one of the planets, there's a desert. It's called the Blanca Desert. After
not at all, dude.
Yeah, no. When something happened to one of the Baronies' free company, and they just and all they found were just like dozens of Baylors out in the desert, just like tearing shit up, essentially.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you meant like they were like deactivated, just like
No,
put
no.
out, right? They were like,
It's kind of inferred that the Baelors what's it? Like not consumed, but what's the word we're looking for? Like took over the free company
ooh,
and like corrupted.
yeah, possess.
I guess there's assimilate. That's the word I was looking for.
Assimilate.
Yeah. So the Baelor is actually it's a frontline fighter for Horus. However, you'll notice it has no armor. So, but there's a good reason to why it has no armor. And that's because you see those fires that's coming off of the frame.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fire. That's swarms of nanobots called the Grey Wash that the Baelor is comprised of and weaponizes in combat. So every round, or no, at the end of every round of the Baelor, it will automatically heal a quarter of its total HP whenever it takes damage. Yeah, the only time it stops that is if it takes stress or structure damage. And because of that, when you're resting, you don't need to use repair caps to bring it up back to full health. It just automatically fixes itself.
Right.
Yeah. This gets pumped up even more when you use its core power, which instead of healing a quarter, it heals a half of its total damage. But the swarms can also provide soft cover for adjacent allies, and then you can deploy swarms with the hive drone later on to sort of pop soft cover for your allies. But also the swarm, if you take structure damage while you're using the core power of the Baelor, if you take structure damage, you have to roll a d6. And if you roll a 6, you don't take any structure damage, and you don't you take no structure damage. You still have to roll in the structure damage table to see whatever happens, but you don't take any structure damage because it describes the Baelor as, quote, hellishly pulling itself back together.
That's cool.
Yeah, right? Can you imagine?
Terminator 2 just.
Can you imagine like what that does for morale?
Yeah.
If you have like an ally that's in the Baelor and you're like, come on, and you just see it like just pulling itself back together.
Yeah. That's cool.
That would be so cool. But
don't survive.
Yeah, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, if I was running a game and I had one of my players run a Baelor and it managed to do that, because it's still a 1 in 6 possibility. You know, like I would probably have like some grunts being like, you know what? I'm out of here, man. Game over. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not getting paid. Well, I mean, it depends on the situation. But like, I'm not getting paid for this. But later on, you can also use the nanite swarm as like a cloud of burst damage. So like at the end of your turn, you just like burst out a swarm and it just starts eating away at people around you. But even before
cool.
Yeah, even before that, if you grapple somebody and you bring them adjacent to you, that targeted person that you're grappling starts to get eaten away by the nanite swarm. That's like just like pouring out of the Baelor.
And this is the first one?
Yeah, this is the first one. Also, that whip, so it's a melee weapon that has like that has some range to it, you know? And if you hit on a critical with it, which again we established is not rolling on 20, but just anything above a 20.
Right.
You pull your target adjacent to you. So you pull them adjacent to you, and then they just start getting eaten alive by the nanite swarms.
Nice.
Yeah. But despite the fact that it's like big and brutish, and it does have some weapon mounts on it, it's still pretty good with tech. It gets a +1 to its tech attack bonus, and it gets an ability that gives you accuracies for tech attacks against adjacent targets, and both of its licensed weapons have the smart tag, and one has a seeking tag. So it's a big brutish robot, but it's not stupid. It's still it's still pretty intelligent. And apparently, from what I understand, there's a pretty big push for having like hacker centralized builds specifically for the Baylor. Like people's like, if you dedicate it for hacking, it will destroy. So yeah. But getting into the negatives of it, it's slow. It has a slow speed score. It has a low heat cap, and it doesn't have enough SP or system points to really get into the full breadth of its equipment. So when you do get it, I'm getting a little chattery because of the coffee. I'm actually kidding. First time on air, I'm hyper. Yeah. But like, so it's generally advised that if you do get the Baylor, like you don't go whole hog right out the gate with it. Like you don't put all 3 levels in the Baylor right away. Like you kind of have the Baylor off to the side and you start to build on it. And then when it's ready, when your kit's ready, then you unleash hell upon these people. Because like if you were to go just straight into the Baylor, you'll see that it has like huge flaws in it
so early on it's a glass cannon, sounds like.
Kind of. And you would think that like the whole like regeneration thing helps it out, but the fact that it stops doing that whenever you take structure or stress damage, that just means that because this game promotes metagaming, right?
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows what everyone's abilities are. So if you're going up against somebody that's like, hey, that's a Baylor, and they just focus fire on it, you'll just melt. So you know, it's kind of like you want to buff it up first before you take it out. You know.
Got it.
So it's generally,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's generally advised. While it looks cool, like it still needs some work. You know, like build it up in the background and then whip it out and melt people with it.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's kind of the Baylor.
Big smart boy.
Big smart boy. Looks intimidating. Might need a little bit of help. Yeah. But still, if okay, so before we go any further, I do want to say Horus is the one company where like you do have to be smart with how you're using it. Because for me, I'm a caveman. I like to just shoot things and hit things. So IPSN, I'm good with. I'll go full on IPSN because hey, you know, they got the big bonks and big guns. I'll just shoot shit. But if you're playing Horus, you do have to be very smart about like, okay, like take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, like really get the modular aspect going on, you know. Because I mean, it makes sense. Right. They're all about tech, so you gotta utilize the tech.
Is any of the future, like the next frames from Horus, gonna be like a defender type?
Yes, actually, there is. Okay. There is one that's like the definitive mama bear of Horus.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So, all right, on to the next one. The Goblin.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that this one's very tiny. I didn't even see it on the main picture.
You can actually, if you look closely enough, you can actually see the pilot inside the frame.
Oh, there's an.
He's in the bottom.
Are those the goggles right under the eyes?
Yes, those are the goggles.
Oh, I see the hands. Got it. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So it's just an armor essentially.
Yeah. If you go back to the splash screen, he's in the bottom left corner. Little tiny guy.
Oh, he's a tiny baby. Okay, that's why I didn't see it. I was because all I see is the spikes from whoever's the one in the back, and then it's tiny little. It's not bigger than his foot.
Oh yeah, no. The goblin's a small boy. So
name appropriately.
Yeah. And not only is it a small boy, but the goblin is a certified shit boy. Like if people either love or hate the goblin. There's no in between. There's no one that's like, yeah, the goblin's all right. There's people that's like, oh man, the goblin, or the fucking goblin.
Why though?
Well, okay, so the reason why that is because this thing is a hacking monster. Like it's a little tiny thing and it's super squishy, but it will just we'll get into it. But there's things where it's like where you'll start to understand the hate for the goblin.
Okay.
So the Goblin is the earliest known Horus frame, or is
Okay.
it? We'll find out.
Oh, okay.
There's one that suggests otherwise.
Intriguing.
But okay, so the Goblin is primarily hacking, and when I mean primarily hacking, I mean it gets only one weapon out of its licenses, and you can't even use it as a normal weapon. Like you can't use the attack action or skirmish or barrage in this game
Mm-hmm.
to use it. You have to use it as a reaction against somebody else attacking somebody else.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it has almost no offensive capabilities physically.
I'm gonna take a wild guess that he's really fast.
Actually,
Or has really good evasion.
no, it is really fast. It does have good speed. Its evasion is meh. You are gonna have to build that. You are gonna have to build that evasion up. What it does have is sensor range. It has aside from these.
That's why all the antennas.
Yes. Aside from exactly. Aside from some of the previous Smith Shimano's that we discussed, it has the highest sensor range in the game. So it could see everything. and it's one of the few frames that comes with a +2 to tech attack. So it's just like right out the gate.
Ooh.
Start hacking.
Right.
So and if you want to, you can take this one right out of the gate, as long as you're okay with the fact that you might die.
Yeah. Why not?
But this little fucker can destroy a mech without it firing a single shot, because its frame gives it accuracy to tech attack, and it can make a tech attack as a reaction to getting hit by a tech attack. So it's like, you hack me? No, fuck you! I hack you.
All right, I dig that.
Yeah. And okay, so I'm gonna give you just a brief, preview of what it can do based on its Horus operating system, and it's spelled H0R_OS.
Okay.
Horus. So it can do the following bullshit, but it's not limited to: forcibly ejecting enemy fuel rods, making them jammed, puppeting enemy mechs into potentially dangerous terrain, creating a perfect decoy copy of itself to throw off targeting systems.
That's cool.
And forcibly shackling an enemy to the spot where if they move, they get teleported back to that spot.
Oh, what an asshole.
Yeah. And then hold on. And then it can use its ultimate attack, which is called Hurl into the Duat, which, for those of you that don't know, the Duat is the Egyptian form of hell.
Oh, okay.
Which you do tech attacks, repeated tech attacks to an enemy, and each subsequent fail gives it more statuses, to the point where I think if you do it the third or the fourth time, the enemy actually switches allegiance for a round.
You got full Wololo.
Yeah, exactly. And because it's Horus, I'm pretty sure they'll play that noise. And you see the blue mech turn red, and you're like, oh no.
That's awesome. Okay, that's so he's just, for the enemy, a really big annoyance.
Yeah. And this is all thanks to the hurl into the Duat ability is thanks to the NHP it gets called Osiris, which is an extremely powerful NHP. To give you an idea of how strong this NHP is, it says that it can hold on. In essence, unrestrained and unallowed to develop as USB's data indicated, which is the Union Science Bureau, Osiris Prime would have the capacity to delete what we perceive to be as reality. It is that powerful. And that powerful thing is in this little fucker.
What? Wait, it just deletes reality?
And
How does that work?
What we perceive as reality.
How does that work?
So somebody took Azazoth and put him in a mech. And it's just like, hey, let's just hope it doesn't unshackle, okay, guys? we just gotta put our faith in the technology. If this thing starts to cascade, like it's like, oh, it's like if someone gets corrupted in Warhammer lore, it's like, no, kill it as quickly as possible before the Chaos Demons come out.
Yeah,
like
even your own allies will be like, no.
No, seriously, like it's just it'll be the Wesley Snipes meme with like the single teardrop holding out the gun, like I'll do it, and this little fucker starts cascading.
Yeah. Just shut up. Just do it.
Okay.
Just shut down.
So the Goblin, like I said, it's terrible at defense. It has no armor. It has the lowest HP pool in the game. But what it can do is the ultimate shit heel maneuver, which is hide behind a bigger ally and make him take the heat.
Yeah.
So
I kind of want to play this guy.
I kind of figured this would be you. Okay, so its core power is called symbiosis, which is where it literally attaches itself to a bigger frame. It just starts being carried around by the bigger frame. And so when it's using the symbiosis, you both act on the same turn. It's the turn of whoever is being attached to. So the Goblin loses its turn, and
what's the name of that big ass IPSN frame that you like?
The Tortuga or the Raleigh?
The Tortuga. No, I think it's a Tortuga. I mean, when we play, it's gonna be us. It's just gonna be hanging around.
A big old Tortuga, and there turns around. There's a Goblin like, hey.
I'm definitely gonna be playing the Goblin. This guy's so annoying.
But like, okay, so while the Goblin is attached to a bigger frame, the one that is being attached on gains benefits by using the Goblin system, E-defense, and tech attack. Meanwhile, the Goblin gets hard cover from any
Right. That's kind of cool though.
Yeah, right.
So it's not just like, take the hits from me.
Yeah, no, it gets a boost too. So it's like,
right. He's literally an antenna. He's just like, hold on. Hey, how's that?
It's like I'm gonna attach to the Raleigh. What do you see? Everything. Anyways, but outside of that, it can use an ability called Meta Hook, where it can not physically but technologically attach itself to any frame within its sensor range and then piggyback off that sensor range. So like, let's say it has a sensor range of 20, and then you use the Meta Hook to tech attach to a frame that has a sensor range of 10. You effectively have a sensor range of 30. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can make tech
That's
attacks
cool.
based off that.
Again, you're literally just an antenna.
Yeah. But the only drawback is that if one person, while they're being attached in that way, takes heat, you both take heat. So it's kind of, so there is a give and take, The downsides is that this bad boy needs hull points yesterday. Like, it is weak. Like one.
Yeah, it looks like just any bullet would just take him out. I mean, it's literally just a suit.
I mean, we've discussed it. And we discussed it in the IPSN episode, but like one good attack off of certain frames can just completely destroy one, and even though, even with that, it still gets inaccuracies, the hull checks and saves, and you still need to invest a little bit into systems, get the system points back.
Right.
And it has a low heat score. It only has 2 repair caps.
Oh man.
So it's like you got to use that sensor range for your advantage. Don't go on the front line.
yeah, for real.
By all means, do not go on the front line with this thing. But yeah, that's the Goblin. You love it.
I dig it. I say that I want to play, but I'm pretty sure if I ever encounter it in against me, I will fucking hate it. So I understand.
Yeah.
It's just built so like like a goblin, like you're a fucking goblin.
And I love the fact that it just incorporates that goblin energy where it's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
But then like the second things go wrong, it's like no, and it runs away.
Pretty much, yeah. He goes hide behind like the big one.
Yeah, I love it, but I also hate it. All right, that's the goblin. Now onto the Gorgon.
Dude, look at that thing.
What's wrong with your face?
I don't know what's happening, but I like it.
Okay, so believe it or not, would you believe that this is a protective frame?
This is the bear? No. This is the mama bear?
This is the mama bear.
Oh, no, not at all. Unless it's very violent. But I don't see it as a defensive.
Okay, so it's not really so much violent. It's just like distracting. It's just like it's just like every time you go to attack, like when you're allies, it's like it's just
got it. Yeah.
Throws its hands up and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's
the way you're describing all these frames so far is like the most schizophrenic freaking group of players. You got the goblin, you got this one doing signals to like
you got the Horus, it's just like oh, I am death, destroyer of worlds, and then you got the goblin like you got goblin
pure chaos. Yeah.
And then he got this one just like don't look at it, don't look at it.
Hey. Oh shit.
Yeah, no, the best way to describe the Gorgon is don't speak to me or my son again. Okay, so
got it.
So the Gorgon.
Here's a Karen haircut.
I mean, the pilot kind of has a Karen haircut.
Kinda.
Yeah. So the Gorgon.
The Lancer.
The Gorgon. Sorry, my bad. I take back everything I said.
Everything from this point to the beginning.
I've exposed myself on stream that I'm a hack fraud. but the Gorgon is a protective frame, and how it protects is by interrupting and obfuscating the enemy constantly.
Okay.
So you can, if you're adjacent to it, you can use the Gorgon as hardcover, which is kind of weird because it's a thin frame. So it's like, how exactly is it hardcover? And the joke is that it's so fucking ugly, no one wants to look at it.
They don't want to keep eyesight.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's behind that, but I can't. Also, I know that the frame is ugly, and I know this is thematic, but why does a pilot have to look like? The Lancer have to look like that?
I don't know. Because
why can't the Lancer just look like a regular person?
Because it's twisted.
Yeah, I would love to imagine like the most weird fucking frame like this one, like the Gorgon, right? And then it opens up to reveal the pilot or the Lancer or whatever. Steps out, and he's just wearing like a regular suit.
Yeah, just.
or even better, just like a Midwestern hipster with like a little beanie and everything.
No, man, no.
When it opens, like, oh Jesus Christ, dude.
No. If you're a Horus pilot, like you think the be all and end all of cinema is the Joker movie,
right? Yeah. Oh yeah. You believe in like anarchy and like that will solve all, no government. You're that type of person.
Yeah. Okay, so
he keeps saying we live in a society. What do you think his password is? We live in a society.
It's fedorable. Okay, so it grants hardcover to adjacent allies. It gets whereas everybody else gets 1 reaction per round, the Gorgon gets 2 reactions per round.
Okay.
Which is all the difference.
So that's how he defends, right? Like
yes, yeah, and it has an ability. Oh wait, no, hold on, sorry. And if somebody misses an attack, like if somebody aims an attack at you and misses, and they roll either a 1 or a 2 on that missed attack, that frame that tried to attack you becomes stunned, which means it can't take any action, it can't move, it can't nothing. It's just like locked into place for like a round, which is
literally frightened.
Yeah,
it's frightened. Look at me.
Yeah, and what's it? it has an ability called Battlefield Awareness, which can be easily described as "Get down, Mr. President," because whenever somebody tries to make an attack against an ally that you can see within a certain range, it's going to use this reaction to move that range to block the attack.
Okay.
And unlike other reactions, it can use this reaction as many times as the Gorgon has reactions for that round. Because
Okay, cool.
and that's
Other reactions?
other reactions, like you'll see throughout the rulebook that it'll say reaction once per turn. So once the
Got it.
whole turn is over or the whole round is over, you can't use that reaction until it refreshes. This one, it just says reaction. So you can keep using it as long as you have reactions to use it with. Does that make sense?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so it can keep zipping in and out to block shots for other people. What's it? It can also deploy something called Sentinel drones that will attack enemies within range of the drones before they attack automatically. So it will like detect enemy action, and if they start firing, it'll shoot preemptively to stop them.
Oh, okay.
It potentially
That's cool.
it potentially kill the enemies before they have a chance to attack. And it has there's another ability called the Scorpion V70.1. Yeah, and you can potentially impair or jam enemies on a failed tech attack, and you can also so remember how I said there's an NHP that's a dog?
Mm-hmm.
This is the NHP.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be in this frame.
Okay, so the description, like the flavor text for it says, treat it with kindness and it will love you as a loyal dog does its master. And people just like, nope, dog, it's a dog now.
Is that dog?
It's like, no, it's not an actual dog.
It's like a really ugly dog that you just love because it's so ugly, it's cute type.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting here.
Yeah.
It's what is the name of that Mexican dog that's like really ugly?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I don't.
Yeah, like that with the tongue out and the eye. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
But using this NHP, which I don't know if it's pronounced Scylla or Scylla or Scylla. It's Scylla. It might be
What's that?
Scylla.
X.
Scylla.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems about right.
Okay. But when you unleash this NHP, you can use the skirmish act. You can use the skirmish action against enemies as a reaction when they make attacks against you. So it's just another defensive property. And then it can use its core power to stun anybody that hold on. Yeah, so it can use its core power to stun people that even look at it. So if you're within a certain range of the Gorgon and you look at it, you have to make a system save or be stunned until the end of your next turn.
It's so ugly.
Yeah, but then even then, there's it gets a weapon called the Vorpal Cannon, which it does good damage. Don't get me wrong, but if you use it as a reaction, when you attack anybody with a Vorpal gun, you could potentially stun them with that too. So this thing,
Okay, so I see how it is a protective one. It's literally just annoying, not annoying. What's the word? Distracting people, like stopping them in their tracks. That's it. It's not.
If it's not getting in the way of, like, if it's not physically blocking you from taking shots against your allies, it's like stunning you and like holding you down and stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah, like this.
Presumably it has a good hold, right?
It has. Oh yeah, actually, it has like the highest HP in the game.
Okay.
Or the highest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it has no armor. That's the problem. And the reactions that you do, because like I said previously, it can use some certain attacks as a reaction. They only deal half damage instead of using it as a proper attack. So,
Okay.
and because it doesn't have any heavy mounts in terms of weaponry, it has 3 mounts but no heavy mounts. So that means you're gonna have to be kind of smart with what weapons you're going to equip to get the maximum amount of oomph if you're going to be reusing those, if you're going to be using those reaction attacks specifically. And again, unfortunately, it just needs more system points so you can get the full breadth of what it can do.
Right.
But I mean, that being said, still pretty good. It has,
Yeah. No, I mean, I dig it. I dig it. It's a very tactical way of playing. Not for me.
yeah,
But it's pretty cool.
but I mean, but despite the fact that it's like defensive, it's still very actiony, you know?
Yeah.
Because
What is it with the spikes in the head?
that's the Vorpal gun.
Oh, that's a vorpal gun.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So,
When you said gun, I imagine it was like a,
or no,
Okay.
wait, that's the Basilisk. That's the thing that, okay, so the core power is called Extrude Basilisk. And it comes out of that and just like stuns everybody within a certain range that's looking at it.
Okay. That already sounds horrifying.
So it's one of these things where like it's horrifying, but it also has like a soft side. You know?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, that makes. I guess.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's just like just don't piss off mom. That's all.
Right.
You know. So, all right.
That's
So
funny.
that's the Gorgon. All right. So on to the next frame, the Hydra.
This is cool.
Yeah, the Hydra is believed to be a prototype Baylor.
Okay.
Where instead of using nanobots, it uses drones. So that's where the Hydra's strength is. The Hydra deploys a bunch of drones and uses that in combat. Right out the gate, it can deploy 1 of 4 drones that comes already equipped with the frame that can either provide soft cover to adjacent allies, immobilize enemies, shred enemies, or provide lock-on to adjacent foes, right? So you got 1 of those 4
Okay.
that it can do.
That's cool.
If you use your core power, you can use all 4 at the same time. So then you just shotgun out 4 drones that can do this. Any drones that it does deploy has more HP than normal, because it'll say, like, if you look, it'll say like, oh, the Orochi drone has, or no, actually that's a bad example. Like the assassin drone has an HP of 5. Well, the Hydra gives it an extra 5 HP points, so it'll actually have a HP of 10. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And on top of that, if the drone is adjacent to the Hydra, it gains resistance to all damages, so it takes half damage from everything. Let's see. The Hydra can use a quick tech attack action to move all drones within sensor range, which is a big deal because normally you can only move 1 drone at a time.
So you can. Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, so you have to use one
That ma-
action to move 1 drone, another action to move another drone.
Yeah.
Whereas the Hydra can just move them all as long as it's within its sensor range.
That's cool.
Yeah, and and the Hydra can also make any drone within sensor range zap adjacent enemies with energy damage, using a quick tech called the Puppet Master. Yeah. So the following drones it has is that one is called the. Oh, I just had it here. Where'd it go? Yeah. So there's a Tempest drone which smacks adjacent enemies like a hammer, dealing energy damage and pushing them back 3 spaces. You have the Assassin drone that can use its reactions, which is unlimited, to snipe nearby enemies as it approaches it. So you just like set up the Assassin drone, just keeps picking off enemies. But not only that, it allows the drones to do the fighting for it, but it also has weapons in of itself. It uses Nexus weapons, which is just like drone technology weapons. And one of the weapons is called the Ghoul Nexus, which has long range and decent damage, but you can change whatever type of damage it's using on the fly. So what's it? It can either do kinetic, energy, or explosive damage. So it can basically work around whatever resistances it needs to.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. The gas.
So if you mix this one with a goblin, is a sensor range like just?
Maybe actually. That's just something we're just gonna have to find out, isn't it? Like I can definitely see the Hydra having a lot of potential to just wreck shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But another one of its weapons is called the Gas Nexus, which is actually like you can use it as a normal weapon, but you can also deploy it as a drone, and then use that on your turn to attack separately as a weapon attack. So it's like a deployable turret essentially.
Yeah.
Kind of, but not really.
I'm assuming since they're closer, it's easier to hit. Right?
Well, it might be something where it's like hold on. Oh no, so what that does is that like if there's something out of its range, you can deploy it. Okay, so it has a sensor range of 10, the Hydra, right? The Gas Nexus has a weapon range of 10. But let's say there's somebody outside of that range. So
I see.
So you can deploy it as a drone and then use it to move it within your sensor range. So then that way it can get in range. So it just
okay.
But like Hydra is definitely like one of the ones that where it's like it's big brain. You really have to stop and think about it.
Right.
And well, we'll get into what I think about it later on. and then it can use the Annihilation Nexus, which is a smart weapon. It's also super heavy to where it shoots off like explosive energy damage. So it will actually no, hold on, wait. Oh no, it does a burst of energy damage. My bad. and because it's smart, it uses the E defense. It attacks your E defense, not your evasion. And because of its oh my god, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. And due to the properties of the Annihilation Nexus, you can either use that weapon on yourself, or you can have one of your drones deployed use that weapon as well. So you can have one of your drones that you deployed all the way up there do a burst of energy damage to anybody around it.
Got it.
So getting into like the negatives of the Hydra, despite the fact that it actually has a single point of armor, this is the first armored Horus mech that we've come across. Despite the fact that it has a single point of armor, I think it actually has like one of the lowest evasion scores. No, it has an evasion of 7, which is still pretty bad. So it's definitely going to need to pump that up. There's some other stuff too, like it could definitely use like more hull points. It's going to need more heat caps, but metagame, kind of meta knowledge, like not end game, but just on tabletop, from what I've understood, the general consensus is that if you have someone playing Hydra, it just completely bogs down gameplay. Because
I guess because I was wondering about that with the, like, because if you're handling that much stuff going on at once and the distances and like all the different weapons, it's almost like you're playing a wizard that doesn't prepare their spells.
or it's like a conjuration wizard where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go and then all my summons are going to go and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's like just from like from what I've heard, like if you're playing as the Hydra, or no, if someone else is playing the Hydra and their turn comes up, just go and make a sandwich.
Dang, okay.
Like because it's just gonna. I don't know how true that is because like I said, I've unfortunately haven't had the chance to play Lancer yet. but
Eventually, we will.
yeah. But just from what I've heard, Hydra just completely kind of bogs down everything. It's good.
I can see it happening though. Yeah. No, but I can see it because it's a lot of things going on at once.
Yeah, there's a lot of literally moving parts with the Hydra.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just you're just gonna have to be smart about it. That's all. So it just is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so far this is probably the lamest one in my opinion from.
There is one that looks cool, but it's kind of lame that we'll get into next episode.
Okay.
Actually, I think it might be the one that we're starting off with next episode.
Oh.
Yeah. But now, on to my favorite Horus frame. Dude.
This one looks mean.
Okay, so the best way I can describe the Manticore is it's a frame with the mentality of a masochistic honey badger mixed with the capabilities of a suicide bomber.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But suffice it to say, when you're a Manticore Lancer, life is cheap. And we'll get into why. So
okay.
It has low evasion scores because I fucking dare you to try to hurt the Manticore. And it gets resistance to burn and energy damage, which is good because it a lot of its attacks will actually hurt itself and then uses that. It weaponizes like self. I'm actually gonna say something bad, but it weaponizes like damage that it takes to itself. And all of its license weapons that it gets through the Manticore license deal heat damage to itself, which is a good thing because every time, once per round, if you take heat damage, that you can convert that heat damage into energy damage and then zap somebody else within a certain range.
Oh, that's mean.
So every time it takes, and actually it describes that that's what the spines on the back are for. The spines zap people as every time it takes heat from tech attack. And actually what's really funny is that it describes that that it has an imperfect cooling system, or sorry, an imperfect heat dispersal system, and that the chassis is often covered in cooling melted metal as it's like melting itself. Right. You know. Later on as a protocol, you can self-inflict heat damage to blast anyone and everyone around you with energy damage. And if you're in the danger zone, which is where you're at half of your heat cap, that damage that you burst out is doubled. Yeah. And then it can use its core power, which I'm going to be saying the names of its abilities here because they're amazing. It can use its core power, which is called Destruction of the Temple of the Enemies of Ra.
Okay.
Where it will start to absorb heat damage and build it up, and once it's built up so much heat damage, it explodes it into a fireball of 6d6 energy damage that is armor piercing. So it doesn't matter what your armor is, get fucked.
Jesus.
Yeah, hold on.
Does the Manticore survive then?
Wait, there's more. Yes, the Manticore does survive. Okay. However, speaking of explosions, because the Manticore is so unstable, if it gets destroyed and it doesn't have a reactor meltdown, it will have a reactor meltdown. So yeah. So a reactor meltdown only happens on the stress table. If you take so much structure damage, your mech just gets destroyed and it's just useless. It turns into a flower pot. But regardless of what happens to the Manticore, if it gets destroyed, it explodes. The Manticore always ends in explosions, and you can further weaponize that potential explosion with an ability called Castigate the Enemies of the Godhead, which while you're when you rest or perform a full repair, you can weaponize your Manticore's like nuclear reactors, and if you were to when you have a meltdown, everyone within a range 2 of you has to make an agility save or take 8d6 explosive damage as your Manticore just explodes into a fireball.
Holy crap.
If that happens, the Lancer inside your Manticore, die along with it. That's what I'm saying. Life is cheap when you're a Manticore pilot. It says this only takes place if you are physically present in the Manticore, and it instantly kills you and any other passengers as it vaporizes the targets around it.
Jeez.
I fucking love this thing.
This is right up your alley.
This is
You just have a bunch of other frames ready up for the next game.
but it's just like you're fighting this thing, and it's like, no, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
that's
man. Okay.
And the whole time you're just sapping people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like I said, it's just like a honey badger. It's just going crazy and like biting people and whatnot. And then when you think you have it cornered, it pulls the little predator like wrist pack thing and just
Jeez.
God, I love the Manticore. Anyways. But at license level 1, it gets a pistol that does cone damage, which is crazy. Like the fact that it can, it even has like pretty good range, but the fact that it gains an auxiliary weapon that can do a cone, despite the fact that it takes heat to yourself, is still really good. And then at license level 2, you get a weapon called the arc projector that can attack an enemy within a certain range, and if that enemy is within a certain range of another enemy, it chains the attack until it stops. The only problem is every time it chains the attack, you take 1 heat damage. So there's that. Yeah. And it wields tech that is highly unusual, and dare I say provocative. It can swap places with an enemy mech at the cost of taking energy damage to itself. It can summon. When I say summon, it pulls all the characters within adjacent to it that's within a certain range on a successful tech attack. You can deal energy damage to yourself in order to stun an enemy, or you can take energy damage in order to blast out heat damage to everybody else around it. Or even crazier is that you can stun yourself in order to stun another opponent.
This is I'm imagining I don't know how I feel about the Manticore, man. Does he have like a self-whipping thing?
Yeah, I told you, it's masochistic. But I love the fact that like it has these big glaring weaknesses, but it's just like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna use my weaknesses against you.
Just lean into it.
Yeah,
just have more characters ready. You're good.
Exactly. But for real though, you need to get those evasion scores up. It actually,
do you want to though?
It does, because it has the lowest evasion. Because I mean, I don't know, like, yeah, you get into a Manticore and you're like, I will die in this thing. but there does need to be like at least 40% self-preservation.
I like to imagine the inside of this thing looks like the inside of the Rhino in Ace Ventura.
It's like,
and then it's just a little fan. That's all you get. That's a Lancer pilot.
It's like, oh, here's your Manticore frame. What happened to the previous pilot? And you see like a technician like hosing off the blood from like inside the cockpit.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. But no, what's okay? So another thing that's really cool about the Manticore, not mechanically, like we're outside the mechanic. We already spoke about the mechanics. Is that in lore, like when you're around the Manticore, you start to pick up weird chatter on the radio, or like what's it? It says that it has a certain amount of omninet noise to signal ratios, and that you start to pick up blips of what seems to be like praises and passages from some kind of like holy text that no one knows what it's from, that specifically worships Ra or Manus 1. So like this thing seems to be like some kind of weird like potentially, I don't know, like take the implications from it what you will, but this thing seems to, I don't know if it's the frame or something about it, worships Ra and, and then explodes. Yeah, so
I'm not gonna make any comments on that.
yeah, don't take the easy way. But it's just okay, so the first thing when I read the Manticore, the first thing I thought was, how cool would it be if you're running a campaign and everyone's fresh, like, oh hey, we're all license level 0, here's your Everests, you know, we're gonna do a sortie, it should be a routine, like, I don't know, protection gig or whatnot, and then this fucking thing shows up and just starts sapping people left and right, and then you're like,
what is happening? This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, we got it, sir, we got it cornered. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yes. All right, give me your new characters. Let's go.
Yeah,
That
was the cold open. That was our Game of Thrones style. Like, you all got invested into your characters. Now we're gonna play your actual characters. I mean,
that's cool. That's a hell of a tutorial level.
I mean, yeah, it was. I don't know. I love the Manticore. I just love how it's like, let's take Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs and put him in a robot and just see what happens.
Oh man.
Just like the definition of, you want to get nuts? Let's get fucking nuts in here.
And then you immediately regret your decision. You're like,
I mean, that's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, oh, you're a Lancer? Oh cool, what's your frame? Oh yeah, I use the Tortuga, blah blah. You know, it's really good for protection and whatnot. What do you use? Oh, I'm a Manticore pilot.
Yeah, and then it's like the guy in the prison away from
yeah, like people adjacent just move away because you don't know, that Lancer pilot might explode too. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's all I got for Horus Frame for this episode.
Well,
I hope y'all learned
a lot
today.
Yeah, we see what kind of gameplay you like, Andrew. You need to talk to somebody, man.
Hey, look, man. Whenever I play D&D or any tabletop RPG, I'm like, this character's gonna die. Like, eventually, it's gonna. That's just what was hammered into me when I started playing D&D. Like, life is cheap when you're one of my characters. Yeah. So like, if there's a big robot that can take it and weaponize it, you better believe I'm going for that.
Oh shit.
Oh,
that's funny.
But I mean, it's just like, but it's the one thing. Okay, so all Horus can do tech attacks, but you kind of see like every one of these frames so far is like a wild card. Yeah,
every single one of them.
You know, like,
I think the Hydra was like the most normal one so far.
Which is crazy. The Hydra is the normal one.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, drones, I get that, I understand drones.
Yeah, like you know, like the Hydra is the one that's like, you know, sitting there with a mug of chai, like reading a novel. Meanwhile, you got like the Manticore digging through someone's trash. The Gorgon's like, like getting in people's way.
The goblin swinging from the chandelier. And
You know, and then you still got the Baylor that's still like in the background.
It's just pumping iron in the background.
It's pumping iron and then eating that iron. Like, every time it pulls it and it comes back, the bar's a little bit more disintegrated.
Oh, man.
Meanwhile, like the fucking goblins hacking into the White House, getting nuclear launch codes and shit. This goddamn.
Yeah. Horus seems to be unhinged, and I kind of love it, actually.
We haven't even gotten to. Oh, okay, no, that's not true. The Manticore might be the peak of Horus craziness, but there's still a bunch of weird shit out there. We ain't done yet.
Right.
No, I'm wrong. There is one. There is one frame that might be weirder. No, that is definitely weirder than the Manticore. There's one frame that has a rule that the author says is untouchable. You cannot change it in any way, shape, or form. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the people who made the game that everything is busted, so nothing is, have a rule that they say they cannot change.
Yeah, this rule is written in stone. You cannot change it. Yeah.
All right. Interesting. All right. Cool. Well, that was fun. I can't wait for next month to see the rest of it. We'll get there though.
We're getting crazy, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we get to talk about. I think we had our session highlights, but we only had one session so far, and it was kind of like a welcome back session. Do you have anything?
Wait, hold on.
Highlight?
Wait, what are we talking about?
Session highlights? Damn it! No! No! Rewind. So Andrew, you know the next part of the episode is my favorite. Session highlights.
I had my finger over the button, dude. You can't stop me.
I'm gonna remove that sound specifically because he.
Then I'll just get a real air horn.
Just into the microphone.
You hear Teresa like, "What the fuck was that? What did you do?" all of the audio beforehand ruined because we can't use it anymore. It's gonna be like, why is Andrew sound really small and tinny and all of a sudden, oh, that's why.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
Well, Andrew, do you have any session highlights from last session?
From last session, no. Unfortunately, it, like you said, last session was kind of more like a welcome back. We were kind of wrapping up some loose ends from
emotional stuff
like the previous season. And
that's right, season 3.
And sort of introducing newer stuff.
Yeah.
However, I would like to talk about the session previous. Because there was the moment where we ended that season. That to me.
Oh, we haven't talked about that?
No, we haven't. We have.
Oh, for some reason I thought we did.
We have not been on air since.
Oh man, yeah, go for it.
So,
yes, I thought I didn't bring it up because I really thought that we already talked. About it.
No, so
yeah.
To me, and this might be a bit premature because we still haven't finished. Yeah, skip all that horror shit.
Yeah,
we're not talking about it anymore. We're getting back into D&D. So this might be a bit premature because we haven't finished the campaign, but we experienced a moment at the end of last season that to me is my defining campaign moment. And it wasn't a big grandiose battle or a victory or anything like that. It was just, there was a character that one of our players, Robert, was invested in, that had a pretty extensive backstory. And that for the previous 78 sessions, like, was referred to and offhand, whatnot,
constantly,
and built up, and they finally got reunited with this character. And I was like, to be perfectly honest, when it got up to this moment, I was worried. You know, like, I was like, am I gonna mess up the landing? You know, like, am I not going to do a good job? Am I going to get awkward because it's like kind of a role playing? It's a very heavy role playing moment.
Yeah.
And
that moment could have gotten pretty awkward, but I think with Robert, it wasn't
Yeah.
going to happen.
and I was like, I wonder if someone's going to cry. You know, like offhand, like before the session even started, I was kind of musing the fact, like, is someone gonna cry? Is this gonna be like kind of a tearful moment? And I'm like, nah, it'll be fine, you know. And people cried.
Yep.
we got some tears at the end of that session.
Some tears,
myself included. And okay, so Robert's character Swift was finally reunited with their adopted mother, that for the longest time they thought she was dead. You know,
Yeah.
they thought that she was killed off by the Tiger Tribe, which is like the evil tribe in Icewind Dale. And throughout the entire adventure, they've been hearing like whispers and rumors that maybe she's alive and whatnot, blah blah blah, because she's like this legendary figure of Goliath lore. And so it turns out that the reason why they haven't been reunited is because the elk tribe, not the deer tribe, the elk tribe has been safeguarding her. Like there's like an agreement between the two where like they will provide for her. And so the group had to do something for the elk tribe, and in return, you know, the elk tribe repaid the group's kindness with knowledge from the astral plane, which is mechanically what they were there for, but then also giving them information of where to find Swift's adopted mother. And it was just like this kind of just like in this big like grandiose adventure that we had, where like you guys like slayed a dragon in the middle of town and you like defeated Dwargars in their fortress and whatnot. It kind of all boiled down to this one quiet moment in a cave somewhere, and with just one character interacting to another character, you know. And it was just this like this small, like, intimate moment. And to me, that's what it all accumulated to, was that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the fact that it was been built for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
2 years, like, that's a long build-up, and we finally get there. And of course, Robert's amazing role-playing, like, took it to the next level. And you did pretty well too. But when I heard Robert's voice crack,
yeah,
I was like, oh no, this is.
and I was.
And then I looked down at the screen, and then Heather's just like fucking trying to hold it back so hard.
And it was. Like, I don't want to say like, oh, I'm a big strong man, I wasn't crying, but I'm like,
No.
it was like an emotional moment for me, you know, up until that point. But then when I heard Robert, like he said, when his voice cracked, I just broke.
Yeah.
and after that session, after we were done, I just like, I didn't have like I didn't have like a good cry or anything like that, but I did have to like sit and decompress.
Yeah.
For a bit.
Yeah,
I was just like.
I think everybody did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like we like the actual session ended with like laughs and whatever, and you know, praising everybody all around. But like after I log off, I remember just going to bed and just like sitting there. You know?
Yeah,
like,
just kind of staring.
Small tears staring at the ceiling. I'm like, wow, that happened.
And it's just like I mean, but it's also like, man, as a group, we came a long fucking way, haven't we? You know?
Yeah, I kind of feel. The only thing is that I feel a little bad for Chris.
Yeah,
because he's coming in really late to a very long campaign, and this is his first time playing actual D&D.
Yeah.
So like, while he's there and he participates, he's just not mature to that level of role playing. Which, to be fair, we haven't for the past many years of playing.
No,
it wasn't until like this campaign that we did.
I do.
So that's the only thing.
I do feel like we kind of threw him in the deep end.
Yeah.
And for
that, I mean, it's fine. I mean, he's been a trooper and he's sticking there because he knows that there's gonna be a big old battle dungeons coming through. But like, it just, I think he understands that there's like all these resolutions that are happening that are very emotion heavy.
Yeah. So. But Chris has been doing great, and Chris, if you're listening, and you felt awkward at any of these moments, I apologize.
No, and to be fair, I think we all feel awkward.
Yeah, but I mean, but like this campaign in particular, we've really gone outside our comfort zone in a lot of
100%.
ways, you know.
100%.
So it just, yeah, we just, like, to me, like, I don't care how big the battles get. I don't care like how, you know, lightning and thunder and whatnot. The fact that we had a moment where, as characters and as players, like, tears were shed, things were felt. Like, to me, that's going to be the feather in my cap for the longest time. You know, and it's just, we could have ended the campaign right there. You know, like, for me, like we could have just ended it right then and there. But yeah, it was. I made it a highlight on Twitch if you guys want to go see it. But like, it was a very, very, very strong moment. Pretty good. And it was 2 years of buildup that finally landed, and it just, it was a beautiful moment. It was genuinely a beautiful moment. So.
Yep. Woo!
Not 10
out of 10.
Not gonna lie.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the campaign review episode.
Yeah. Where it's like, that last season felt kind of rushed.
It should have ended. It should have ended with Swift's beating mom. It
almost felt like Andrew rushed the ending so he could play Lancer. I don't know what you're talking about. Shut up.
And then cutting halfway through and then start playing Lancer.
Yeah, you know, I thought it was going pretty good so far, but then like robots showing up in the last arc, it was weird. I don't know how I feel about it.
Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, it really took a strong left turn.
Oh man.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, I mean, that's pretty good. Do you have anything else? Because I don't. I mean, obviously that was my session highlight from back then too. And then this last one, it was everybody welcoming back, a lot of high energy, conclusion to
a little bit of technical difficulties.
A little bit of technical difficulties. But you know, well, we're back. We're back every Wednesday, guys. Come see us live.
Yeah.
On Twitch.
Yep. That like you said, session highlight, but for me it was my campaign highlight, you know? So
yeah, not even cracks top 10 for me, but
Okay.
okay. No, I'm kidding. All right. Well, do you have anything else, Andrew? All right. Thank you, everybody who joined us today for Attack on Opportunity episode on Lancer. We will be back. We have to have a talk about our schedule, Andrew. But we'll hopefully be back in 2 weeks for another episode of our podcast. Well, but please make sure to join us on Wednesdays for live playthroughs of D&D. And I'm trying to get better about streaming on Mondays, Baldur's Gate with Alex and Robert.
I mean, let's just hope this year is not as bad last year's schedule-wise.
Last year was terrible. Holy crap.
Last year it was just like everything kept happening on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, constantly. Like the first half of the year, I'm like, okay, well, that was a pretty bad half of the year, but we gotta get better. And then the second half was even worse. It was just like things just out of nowhere, you skip coming up. And
yep.
Like, every Sunday was taken.
I mean, it was life. Life just happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yep, for sure. But all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure to follow us and on all the social medias, specifically on Twitch and YouTube, because that's where we put all of our content on.
Yep.
Also, make sure to like us and leave us a review or rating stars or whatever it is that you do on Apple, Spotify, Google, and everywhere you listen to your podcasts on.
Constructive criticism, not so
constructive criticism. I like it when you guys make Andrew cry. But with that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and rest of your weekend, and a wonderful next week. We'll see you all. Hopefully. Bye.
Bye.